All right, so far we have, at this point, should have completed all the components of the engine block project. Everything I've given you to this point, as far as the videos, have been kind of very general and just an overview of the process. And I've left you to come up with your own methods on creating those designs. The assembly we have, uh, as far as assembling items, we haven't had as much practice or experience so far. So this second video on the assembly is going to come back and go through it step by step in some detail. So let's go ahead and get started. You're seeing my screen. Where did my mouse go? There we go. This is my canvas. It's untitled. So the first thing I need to do is save my file that I'm going to create my assembly in. Or when I start inserting components, it's going to give me an error. So let's hit the save button. And I'm going to call this block assembly video. So I'm using this to create video. All right, now when you're doing your screenshots and your submissions, I want to see your data panel open like my screen has, so I can see all your components are organized in a folder. Um, and I've seen in class that some of you aren't doing this. And I've stressed this over and over to be organized, and yet some of you refuse. So I want to see it. All right, the assembly. Let's start off. We're going to kind of work with the block and then work from the top down. Okay, so the crankshaft will come in, the connecting rod. We'll go ahead and finish out the connecting rod with the end caps and the pins, then the piston pin and the piston. So the first thing I'm going to do, there's my block. I'm going to insert into current design. And there's the block. Everything looks good. I don't need to move it around. We're just going to start working from here. Click OK. There's my block. Spin it around. Make sure you have this overhang on the back. The depth of the overhang or the top surface here should be 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So you've got 0.375 inches in this section here, and then this width of 3.75 inches. The dimensions are very precise. Everything has to fit perfectly. The next piece we're going to bring in will be the crankshaft. So I come over, here's the crankshaft, right click, insert into current design. All right, let's go ahead and line it up the way we're going to want it. So I'm going to grab the wheel here. I'm going to rotate it around 90 degrees. There we go. Let's go ahead and move it out, away from our design, and up so it's out of the way. We can work with it there. That'll be good. Let's click OK. And before we go any farther, let's ground our block because that's not going to move. So I'm going to ground the block, right click on it and ground. This will be part of your assignment. I want to see that red pin showing your block is grounded. Let's create our joint. This first joint's going to be a revolute. Okay, so I selected revolute. The crankshaft will be component 1. And what we're going to need to do is match up I wish I put those a little closer together. Center of the end of the crankshaft here, and that's got to be centered to this arc and the outside portion of it. So I'm going to select the center of this face. Good. Zoom in here. There's the outside. Hold the control key. Select that center. Revolution. Look good. I'm going to click OK, go back to the home position. Easy enough. First one's in place. Let's bring in the connecting rod. And here's the connecting rod. Insert into current design. There it is. Let's move it out. We're going to spin it over. All right, 180 degrees. And that should be fine right there. Let's click OK. Now this second joint that we're going to create is also going to be revolute. So the crankshaft is going to be able to rotate within the block assembly. The connecting rod will be able to rotate around this section right there of the crankshaft. So it will be able to, as the crankshaft turns, it'll move up and down, but it'll spin, the crankshaft will spin with inside of it. All right, so let's create our joint. Start off with the connecting rod. I'm going to take the center of this arc on the outer edge. Control key. There's the snap point. Now, bring this around. Okay, so this face here, the center of this face to the center of that arc I just chose. Let's just think about where I selected it. So this outer edge, okay, I'm going to have that match up to the edge, center of the edge of this face. So there's my edge. Let's zoom in so we can see that pretty clear. Right there's the edge, control key, select it, revolves around it. I want to go to the right side and bring it into view. All right. There's my y-axis in the background. It's right in the middle, and my connecting rod fits perfectly in this cutout on the crankshaft. It's not into the crankshaft, these bigger faces here or here. So that looks perfect. Click OK. Back to the home position. So the crankshaft's in place. Let's put the end cap in place next. The end cap, we're going to line up the holes on the end cap on one side, and that'll be our snap point. So insert into current design. There it is. Let's bring it out just a touch. We'll move it up here. Click OK. So we're going to snap to the center of the bottom hole to the top of this hole on this side. So let's roll it over, create our joint, zoom in. There's the hole, the outer edge, control, select it, back to the home position, zoom in on this hole. There's the hole, control, select. Oh, that's not the motion we want. We want this to be rigid. Okay, there's no reason for that end cap to move. Click OK. Go to the home position. The end cap's in place. We go look at it from the right side. The end cap is also matched up in that groove perfectly. Go to home, top position. We can see the x-axis through our holes. The holes are aligned just as they should be. Let's put our pins in. So end cap pin, insert into current design. There's the pin. Move it out of the way here. All right. And the top of the pin is going to line up with the top of the holes. So let's create a joint. We want it to be rigid because it's not moving. Center the top of that hole, right there, that looks clear. Let's go to the top. Center of the top of this hole, Control key, there we go. Now notice as I back out, the pin is in place. Just roll it over a touch. It's flush with the top. All right. And as I'm looking over the top, I can see the x-axis here on the right side, but I can't see it anymore because the pin's blocking it on the left. Let's click OK, home position, and that's in place. Now I've got the end cap already in. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy the end cap. Let's paste it. There it's back again, or a copy of it's back there again. Click OK. There's my end cap. Let's create a joint again. Let's zoom in. The top, good. Let's go to this side. There's my hole, top. There it is in place. Looks good. Click OK. Home position. All right. How far am I along? Okay, I only got 3 minutes left on this particular recording, so I'm going to pause the recording here, start a fresh one where I'm going to bring in the piston pin and the piston and finalize the motion.